Before this video begins, let it be known that this is for a general audience. This can be enjoyed by children and adults alike. Children under the age of 13 can enjoy this video for the Thomas & Friends brand itself, and teens and adults can also enjoy this video for its production value and nostalgia. Emily and Two-Nil, based on the series 14 episode Pinky Ponky Pickup, written by Christopher O'Shea.
Football fever had swept over the island of Sodor. Sodor's team, Sodor United, was playing this year, so lots of football specials were chartered to go to the mainland, so the fans from Sodor could support their team. Generally, football is a men's sport, but Emily was one of the most passionate fans in Tidmouth Sheds. Gordon couldn't understand it.
Passengers are weird and so are you. All it is a bunch of screaming men tackling each other for a ball, while many, many other men keep the town awake with their screaming and chanting for their team.
That's just their enthusiasm, Gordon. The game is fun, and while some may play it rough, or get rough when supporting their favourite team, it's great to take part with your friends. I wish I could pull this year's football train. I haven't gotten to pull a large passenger train since me and Henry took your place for a while, Gordon.
Meanwhile, the Diesels were not so excited. They sat in a brand new repair yard called the Dieselworks, with diesel facilities to keep them more modern engines in a better working order than Richard Croven's team could. They couldn't fix Arry and Bert's attitude though.
Disgraceful. You are disgraceful.
What do you mean?
What he means is all the biggest, strongest, most reliable big diesel engines Fat Hat owns could show off our full potential.
You are the best example of the power us diesels have. And what do? Break down and make friends with the steamies.
How can that be a bad thing? I was only being friendly. If anything, I'm showing the fat controller some of us at least are worth having on the fleet. What have you got to prove you should be kept? Scrap a famous engine?
Listen, you. That was ages ago. And you and Fatso must know we've cleaned up our act since then.
I understand. But you must realize that when shaving, stinky cheese is not an ideal aftershave.
BoCo knew Arry didn't like to be reminded of when he crashed into a train of stinky cheese.
Alright, wise guy. We'll give you another chance. It's footy season, so why don't you try pulling all the important spectator trains and be as nice as you always are? If you can get Lordworld on our side, Bert will stop honking you awake.
I don't do that.
Well, when you put it that way, I'll do it. But if they pick someone else, I won't be objecting.
That's it. I knew you had the spark within you.
Spark? Is his engine gonna catch fire?
No, Bertie.
Help! Fire engine! Fire engine! Get an extinguisher! Man the hoses! Call the Welsh fireman! Burn it to a crisp soon! Someone come before he's a roasted gherkin! I don't know, he's always looked as wrinkly as...
Later at Vickerstown Yards, BoCo rolled up to the yard manager. He was standing in front of the coaches for the football train, making the decision on who would pull them. BoCo normally wouldn't give in to the shunter's dares, but he had to admit that he would like to pull a football train.
Excuse me, sir, but I heard you're choosing engines for the football train.
Yes? What about it?
Well, I was wondering, and it's okay if you say no, but would it be possible if I took the train? You see, my friends, no, that's not right, associates, yeah, that's it, have agreed, no, thought that I would be best suited for the train.
I don't know. Have you pulled passengers before?
Actually, yes. Back home, I've pulled lots of passengers, and I've had to help several engines by pulling their trains in my time on Sodor.
Very well. I'll tell Sir Topham Hatt at once.
Meanwhile, Emily had arrived at Marin with her passengers when she saw some people with laundry baskets.
That looks like they're for the barrow team. Excuse me? Are you lost?
We've lost our team, if that's what you mean. Our team's left with their train before we could give them their freshly washed clothes.
They wanted to get to the stadium early. Stupid team. They should know better considering how rough they were when practicing yesterday. Some marks had felt like they each needed 15 minutes to scrub.
Oh my.
Then, Emily had an idea.
Wait, why don't I take those uniforms to them for you? You could hang those clothes on my dome, funnel, and cab like a washing line as I puff along. I'm on my way to the stadium anyway.
I'm not sure.
Great idea. I mean, it's not like we have any other choice.
So her driver and fireman told the nearby signalman, who agreed and let them borrow some rope. It worked a charm as Emily puffed along the line. Her crew made sure her funnel was clean, so smoke and soot wouldn't further dirty the clothes. Meanwhile, BoCo was making good time with his train. As much as he didn't like Den and Dart's motives, he was honoured that the Fat Controller thought he was worthy. He hummed merrily along the line until he blew an exhaust and the train had to stop.
Of all days for this to happen. I had a good record up to now.
Hey, what's happening?
Sorry lads, but our engine has failed. Another engine shall be over in a minute.
No worries, Jane. We can all push.
Oh, good grief.
That's what you do with Henry when he refused to move, right?
Ah, well, yes, but the passengers weren't able to push because... they're doing it anyway.
This is impossible! No one can move this, why didn't you tell me?
Honestly, slipped my mind... Hang on, is that Emily?
And honest they are clothes? What you doing with them?
Never mind that! Emily! BoCo's broken down. Could you come and pull our train for us, please?
Of course. I've actually been following you. Because someone didn't have their priorities in order.
Oh, what'd she say?
Should I even be surprised?
We'll take it from here. You get dressed, you lot, and we'll get your train set up. Ooh, would you look at that? All those coaches. Dear lady is looking out for me. My wish is coming true.
Emily was having the time of her life. As she passed the city areas towards the arena, she met a lot of fans screaming and chanting the chants of their team as they passed. When she arrived, there were 10 times as many fans. Television cameras capturing her on film and the police were keeping the crowds under control. As usual, Emily adored the atmosphere. But when Molly arrived with the Sodor team, she cheered more for that team than the honestly foolish footies she had just carried. Looking at the Barrow team getting cheered, she almost felt like they didn't deserve it. But she felt much better later on, because for her efforts, the Fat Controller said she could have the evening off to watch the game. So, she sat near the television in the steamworks, and she had the time of her life. Meanwhile, BoCo was looking forward to the luxury of a quiet repair at the dieselworks shed.
So the Diesels wanted you to put in a good word for them just for you to give them what they want? Pathetic. If your home was so bad, you would know, wouldn't you?
Actually, I usually go to the steamworks. They may have less facilities for us, but not many diesels do come there now. Besides, I like the company.
I can't blame you.
Arry and Bert didn't have to say anything. They knew what BoCo was like, and they were used to the fumes of failure. So, they stayed in their berths, in silence.
In that episode of Thomas Rewritten, the story was written by Christopher O'Shea and starred Christopher O'Shea as the football players and a football announcer, Mika and Michelina as Emily, Diesel20212 as BoCo, NewbPrimian as Arry, numpty pootis 8012 as Bert, 84F Studios as the narrator, LMS Productions as the laundryman, Dan Engine 59 as the laundry lady, and LG Productions as BoCo's driver. Music belongs to Kohi Tanaka, Shiro Hamaguchi, The Lightning Seeds, Clever Notes, Mystery Man 17, Robert Harthshorne, and The Old Bean. Sound effects belong to Sam the Train Fan, Sound Effects Factory, GW Shunter, and I Love Train 323. This has been a Steam-Powered Cyborg production. The characters are owned by Wilbert and Christopher Audrey, Britt Altcroft, David Mitten, His Entertainment, and Mattel.